Buongiorno. Ciao. Hi, my name is Gina, and somehow you've stumbled upon my channel, and I'm glad you're here. Today is going to be very different. Um, I'm going to try and answer as many questions as I can that have come up over the last few weeks. And as I do that, I'm going to take you to various places that I'm going and just take you along. Today, I am at the beach in Pescara, and we're going to go to another flea market, so that's going to be really fun, and I hope you join me. Um, I'm at the beach, as you can see, and it's just a glorious day. So bear with me. I just want you all to know, first of all, how much I appreciate you all being here. Up until 2 weeks ago, my little YouTube channel was just for family and friends and me practicing a new modality. I didn't come from the world of computers, so learning how to do the editing program and creating content and putting the videos together to try and make them interesting, even for me, has been challenging. In the last few years, I've been working on my move to Europe and finishing a very big renovation and building a little house at the same time, so I haven't had much time to learn a lot on this editing program. And as you can see, I'm not a professional filmmaker. I don't do this for a living at this juncture, and I'm kind of in flux right now. So I appreciate all of your information and questions very much, and know that I see you and I hear you, and I appreciate all your questions. So today, like I said, I'm going to try and answer as many of them as I can. So one of the first questions that a lot of you have asked is, am I moving here full time? Am I going to rent out my property, or is it a vacation home? I'm going to take those one at a time. Yes and no. Yes, I am moving to Europe, and I chose to get my residency through Portugal. So I'm going to be splitting my time between Portugal and Italy, both. Um, am I going to be renting out my flat? No. I would like to have rentals in the future and maybe eventually, but not at this time. Um, is it a vacation home? Obviously not. So why am I only staying for a month? Well, at this point, I have to sell my property in the US in order to even apply for Portuguese residency. I spent a month in Portugal just recently before I arrived to Italy a few weeks ago. And I'm just working on things one at a time. How I found the apartment. Um, I found it online through a real estate agent that I found reputable. It was Paola and her husband at Mayella Casa Immobiliare. So they're a real estate company in Abruzzo, because that's where I am, in Abruzzo, Italy. And because I have traveled to Europe for almost 30 years, so don't think that this is a very quick decision. It's taken me this long to be able to get here and do this. I had a very, very long list, and I've traveled most of this country several times by car um, over many years. And I spent a winter in Rome writing my book, which I'll tell you about some other time. Um, so it wasn't a quick decision. It was based on many, many years and many choices. And I had, like I said, a very long list of what it was I was looking for. And as we go through this Q&A, I will share a little bit about that list, because a lot of you are going through the same process, and maybe my process will help you along with yours and making your own list, figuring out what it is that you are looking for, like I have. Another question that's first and foremost in my mind that bothers me as well, because the last few years have been very hectic for me, trying to um, tie up a lot of loose ends in the States. I live in upstate New York at the moment, only been there 4 years. I started this YouTube channel a year and a half ago, and the reason I started this channel, I will share with you at the end. How the name of my channel, My Italian Therapy, came about, I will share with you at the end, so just hang around. I realize that my filming is not the greatest. And when I arrived here, I must tell you, I was beyond thrilled. So some of the comments that I've seen, and believe me, I do read all the comments and I appreciate them, positive and negative, and all the helpful hints. Um, you can't be that happy, you can't be that excited, you're fake, you're no, oh no, no. No, what you see on this channel is what you get. Hence the filming. Sometimes it is very, very hard to film. And those of you who have YouTube channels, you know that. It takes a lot of time. And sharing this channel with you and giving you an insight into my process, my day, my stress, my calm, my, everything that's happening, it's not always like smooth sailing. Our lives are not like a film. They're not like a movie. They're jumpy and quick and tired. And that's what I was when I got here. I was tired. I had a very, very challenging 5 weeks in Portugal, which was beyond comprehension. And if you want to see what I went through, you go back and look at those videos. So when I arrived to Italy and I pulled up to my apartment, and Lucia and Mario welcomed me. I mean, honestly, look at me. I'm like in tears, and this is not. I've been so busy, I haven't really had much time to think. But the difference between Portugal and Italy is such a contrast that I can't tell you. Thank God. So my jumpy filming, I mean, I hear you. I'm very aware of it, and sometimes I get so sick of looking at little excerpts that I do trying to put together a video. I edit a lot of it out because it takes a lot of time, and right now I'm just kind of in flux and I'm in motion and I'm trying to move in, and I was there, like, the day I pulled up, you were there with me. It was exciting. I tried my best. So I'm going to try and do better because I'm well aware of that. The panning is challenging. I'm sure that there is a setting on my camera that makes it less jumpy. I know when I'm doing time lapse that there is. It evens out the time lapse video. So I apologize for that, and I will do better, because up until 2 weeks ago, just so you know how precious you all are to me, I only had 355 subscribers and followers. I, and if I had any comments, I was excited. The day I pulled up to my apartment in Abruzzo, that video went viral. I have over 350,000 people who have watched it. And I now have over 10,000 subscribers. And believe me, I appreciate that. Like, you would have no idea. Because this channel is about sharing. I started this channel with the intention of sharing my travels, my renovations, and that'll lead me to the next question. Um, and if there's nobody there watching it, what's the point? So I was sharing with friends and family and just documenting it for my son, thinking that, one day I'll be gone and he'll have something to remember me by. And he actually did come to visit me in Portugal last year. So we have some really fun videos and travels if you want to go back and look at some of those that we did. So so just bear with me. I will get better at that, and I'm very conscious. And as we go to the flea market today, I'm going to try not to be so jumpy and spammy. So I wanted to let you know that I am well aware of all of my deficiencies and I will do better, because isn't life about learning and taking on challenges and improving ourselves? And God knows if I did everything perfectly, I would never even leave my house. So that's a good lesson. And I'm just going to briefly um, answer one more question, and then I'm going to go to the flea market this morning. So here we are again. We're back at the beach in Pescara. And today I found out when I went to the flea market, it is Labor Day. Labor Day for all of Europe. So almost everything's closed. I went to a couple stores, couch store and a clothing store, but I didn't really find anything. So back to the Q&A. Let me see if I can answer another couple of your questions. Um, I'm thinking I didn't bring my list with me. Uh, well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Um, I grew up in New Jersey eons ago. I left when I graduated high school in 1981. I've lived all over the country in 11 different states. As far as choosing the apartment, this was a huge question that people have asked me. A lot of you have asked me, and maybe some of you who haven't asked, maybe you were curious. Um, I started out doing rentals when I was living in Montana in the 80s. I started doing restoration and building when I was in Montana in the 80s. So through the last 30 something years, I've incrementally went from being a landlord to doing a lot of the work myself, to where now I do full-blown old home restoration. And right at this moment, I have a property that I bought in upstate New York. You can go back and look at some of the videos, many. That's how I began this channel, was filming the work that I did. And I think the very first thing I was doing was repairing a sidewalk. I remember that. My crumbly sidewalk in my building, my 4,000 square foot building in upstate New York that was built in the 1800s. I bought it. It was set for demo. I bought it for $50,000, and I had to find a place to live for 3 months when I bought that building. It was right during COVID. It was in 2021. I was living in Texas. I kind of got stuck in my RV in Texas during COVID, and I decided Texas wasn't where I wanted to stay, so I wanted to go closer to my family, and at the time we're in New Jersey. So I went to upstate New York, and I looked in a radius of where I thought I might want to live. So I found this property, long story short, and I began to renovate it. And for 3 months, I rented a place because it wasn't livable. And one space at a time, it was a big house, I turned it into apartments. So it's broken into 4 spaces. I'm in the process of selling that right now. And that is why I'm not in Europe yet, because I want to sell my properties and be free of everything there before I can go ahead and apply for my residency in Portugal. So the question, in a roundabout way, I'm answering. People think I'm crazy buying this old apartment. Oh, what about the roof? Oh, the water pressure isn't that great in Italy. Oh, the plugs. Oh, the this. Oh, the that. Oh, the walls. Oh, the brick ceilings are going to fall in on you. You know what? Structurally, that building's been around for hundreds of years. If that collapses on me, it collapses on me. If you see the buildings that I've restored over the years, you wouldn't be asking me these questions. But you don't know anything about me, and that's what this Q&A is about. A little bit of information about me answering your questions. I appreciate your questions. It makes me think. And there's a lot of things that I go, oh, wow, I didn't think about that. There's always something that I say, oh, man, I didn't think about that. So that building that I bought in Italy, doesn't bother me at all. I'm not the type of person that would buy somebody's restored property because I want to go ahead and I want to do every little corner. I want to clean every little corner of the floor. I want to do every bit of the walls. I want to pick out the colors. I want to change what I want to change. I want to redo the bathroom and put in a new kitchen and get rid of the plaster on the ceiling. Uh, and show the brick because I know there's brick under there. There's metal ribbing and there is brick, even though it might not be arched. It is in the bottom floor, though. And that's another thing we're going to talk about. Um, I would never buy a restored property anywhere. Uh, what am I going to do? I do old home restoration. I'm still working. I'm 62. I'm not 102. I still want to do projects. I want to fix things up on my time frame. And as you can see, if you've watched my videos from the beginning, when I went to IKEA, I am not an IKEA person, but IKEA has its place. I needed to be set up that day that I checked out of my hotel, so I had to get the very basics. I've done this more times than I could mention. So we're going to stop there for a second. So, again, life is a journey, and I'm responding to not a specific question while I'm saying this. As I'm talking to you, look behind me. I'm on the beach in Italy, 30 minutes from my apartment. Today is a holiday. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to the flea markets because they're closed because it's Labor Day. But that's okay because I was like right by the beach. So why not come back to the beach, find a shady spot, and answer some more questions? I didn't bring the list, so I can't remember them all. But life is a journey. Life is full of all the choices um, that we've made along the way to come to wherever we are right now. You know, and right now is all we have. Like T.S. Eliot says, I can't worry about everything else. And that is why when somebody said my channel is too simple for them, I'm like, the world is complicated. I don't want it here with me. When I came here, when I decided to come here, I am not coming here to bring my world with me. I'm coming here to create a different world. I'm in Italy. I don't care about the water pressure. I don't care about the small tub. I don't care about the leaky roof. I don't care about the having to replace the electric. I don't care about those things. We're living perfectly in an imperfect world at this moment. Prioritizing our lists, prioritizing our life, getting rid of all the small stuff, uh, and just prioritizing. Because if you don't do that, you're bogged down. This is not a political channel. This is not a negative channel. This is like a happy channel. This is like find the little things in every day. And if it's too simplistic for you, go watch the History Channel. I don't care. And, I will be in the most tremendous places, but most of the time I don't know where I'm going. And a lot of the times I don't have time to look up the history until I come home. And then when I'm doing the video, I'm lucky I can get them done to share in their very basic element. Everywhere I go, I am a history buff. I do research. I love learning. But I'm not going to bog you down with that. If that's something that you choose to do, just take wherever I am and Google it, because this is my life, and it's not going to be complicated because I've dealt with that for so many years. I cannot tell you. So the state of the building, the location of the town, where it sits on the top of a hill. Somebody has said, you're on top of a sand hill, it's going to collapse. When all of the people in the town die, you're going to be all alone. I mean, that's like so absurd. So I don't think about that. I just wake up every morning and I'm glad to be alive. I think positively. I make good food. I buy fresh food. That's another reason why I'm here. I like clean air. I like positive people. I like being happy. It's not that I'm pretending or ignoring the facts of life. I'm just not going to bring that here. Our lives are stressful enough, and I'm not bringing you a channel full of stress and arguments and politics. So this is what you get. You get me doing my journey every day in a culmination of episodes when I can get to it. More than likely, we're going to do Wednesdays and Saturdays for a couple months. So again, thank you for being here. There's more questions to be answered, but we're going to go to a different location to finish answering the questions. And you have a wonderful day wherever you are, and keep sharing. Tell me where you are. I love your suggestions. Those of you that are here, let me know where you are, what you've experienced. There's going to be videos and interviews with some really interesting people coming up. I have Reno with One Stop Abruzzo, and Paula with Mayela Casa Immobiliari, and she was my realtor, and so was Reno. And then I have a really special person that I met when I was staying at the hotel in Chieti, Antonio. He has a music store outside of Pescara, and I met him and his mother on Easter morning. And he is a fantastic person. He goes around, he does volunteer work, and he has an organization. He also has a music studio. So we're going to be interviewing people as I go through my journey, and I'm going to bring people in. Another thing, real quick, people ask me, how did you find the property and who did you use? I'm going to be sharing that with you. And it was Paula, and it was seamless. And I was in the US, and I was able to buy and close before I even got here, as you saw. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of information, one step at a time. So hopefully I can answer your questions. And if I don't answer your question, please reiterate them. And I try and read every comment and see every comment. And I appreciate that. So I will answer your questions. So keep them coming and stay with me, because it's going to get better. Well, I figured while we're at it, might as well make this one short, and then I will add to it with further questions, and I will read some of them. Because at the moment I can't remember all of your questions, and as I'm reading your comments, I'm going to go ahead and start writing them down. At the beginning of this particular episode, I mentioned I was going to tell you how I got the name of my channel, My Italian Therapy. In 1997, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. That was 28 years ago. Back then, I was living in Montana, and I wasn't in a really good place in my life. I've had a lot of trauma and a lot of bad choices. And I did not want to do traditional chemotherapy. I don't know why. I don't know how it came to mind, that wasn't right for me. And being diagnosed with breast cancer at 34, wasn't even doing mammograms yet, which I don't really do anymore anyway. I do thermograms. Somehow I found the Gerson therapy and Charlotte Gerson, and I went to go see her in Seattle. Changed my life, saved my life. Cancer saved my life. It changed my life because I chose to. I never did the chemotherapy. I never did the drugs, tamoxifen, none of that. I did have surgery. I had a lumpectomy in 97. Changed my lifestyle. Healthy, organic, water filters, juicing, on and on and on. So in 2009, I went to Rome for the winter. And my book is being re-edited, so in the print form, it's just not available. And if it is, I don't know how. I did do the audiobook in 2020 during COVID. I was in Texas and I recorded it at a recording studio in San Antonio myself because I thought no one else can read my book. But anyway, so in 2009, I went to Italy and I spent the winter there and I wrote my book about my journey up to that juncture. So when I decided to do this YouTube channel, it was basically introducing the audiobook that I did in 2020. So I think I started this YouTube channel in 2021. Haven't really done anything until a year and a half ago, where my friend Mick in the UK helped me start this channel by helping me with the editing program. Because I had no idea how to start. I had to change the direction that I was filming. I had to learn the editing program. I had to buy external hard drives. I had to get a different computer. It was very complicated. I had to create content, put these episodes together. So I started that with the intention of re-editing my book. And I started this channel by doing renovations. But that was not the intention of the channel. The channel eventually is to culminate all of my health choices, things about life and how to change your life and how to bring positive things into your life, decluttering, buying used things, upcycling, prioritizing, becoming healthy, getting rid of unhealthy choices. I'm basically just sharing about my life. I don't know what your life is about. Only you do. This is not about telling anyone what to do. This is me sharing. And the reason I wanted to do this channel and the reason I wrote the book is to let people know that there are options. You have options. Research, learning, journey, go explore, listen to your gut, make the choices that are right for you. And eventually there will be sponsors, and eventually there will be products to be bought, and they will be geared towards not Italy, not Portugal. They will be geared towards all of the things that I've used over the last 28 years to still be alive. Just to give you an example, in 2016, my cancer came back it was the third time. And it was a tumor, stage 4 metastasis breast cancer tumor. And I went to UAMS in Arkansas. I was living in Northwest Arkansas at the time. And the oncologist, because I go do all the tests, I do the medical thing. I just say, no, thank you. I'm not doing chemo. No, thank you. I don't want your mammogram. And that is me. That's not you. You could do whatever you want. The point in life is to believe in whatever your choice is. It doesn't matter what those choices are, whether you do chemo or not. You just have to believe that what you're doing is right. And if you don't, and if it goes against your grain and you feel uncomfortable, then you need to find a different avenue that does sit well in your psyche, in your soul. Your core beliefs have to jive with that. If somebody's telling you what to do and you're not feeling good about it, I would say just stop, reevaluate, find a different way, even though it seems weird, or if people don't support you and agree. So eventually there will be all of the companies and products that I've used over the years to just be alive, because that oncologist told me in 2016, September 2016, that was 9 years ago, if you don't do chemo, you're going to be dead in 6 months to a year. That's what she told me. 6 months to a year. Well, I'm like, okay, well, bye, thanks. And I didn't believe it. And here I am. I had surgery. I had the tumors removed several times. And there were a lot of things that I've done that are different from what I did from 1997 to 2009 when I wrote the book. So there will also be a part two to my book as soon as I edit the first one and get it out. There'll be a part two, and there'll be a workbook, and there will be information and step-by-step process of what to do, because I didn't really do that in my first book. So that is what the channel was supposed to be about. And I got kind of sidetracked, like I usually do. And those that know me know that I get kind of sidetracked on a tangent, but I come back and hopefully it makes sense to you. So with all that said, here I am in Italy for only 3 more weeks or a month. And after that, I go back to New York. I wish I never had to leave, but life is a process, and I have to go through the process of residency in Portugal. So I go back to New York. I have an offer on my property. I'm going to see that through, and in the meantime, I have to finish another little building project that I did in Corning, New York. I took a property, I took a 5-acre parcel in, and there was a garage, and I just turned it into a little house, a very little house, 16 by 25. So I want to finish that. I'm also selling that. So as soon as I close on the property that I'm presently selling, we're going to close by July 15th because I need time to sell what's in there and just finish the other house. I'm going to go ahead and move into the little house in Corning. I'm going to put that on the market, and then I'll be able to do my residency. And I'm thinking I'll probably be in Portugal in 2025, which is this year, October, November, December. So what I'll do is I'm going to come here first if I can. I may not be able to do that because I want to bring my belongings here. I might have to go back and get them because I want my stuff here, and then I'll drive back and forth and bring, over the years, I'll bring what I want to bring to Portugal, if anything. But I want what I'm bringing in suitcases on the plane. That's all I'm doing. I'm not taking furniture or any of that. So it's just personal things. And the more time I spend in Portugal and here, the less things that I'm going to bring, the more stuff I'm going to sell. This trip was necessary to create the groundwork to begin to know what it is that I'm able to get, to know what what to do next, because after I arrive, if I don't have some inkling of what to bring or what to sell or what my life is going to consist of, it's hard for me to make choices when I go home. So being here, being in Portugal for 5 weeks and being here for 5 weeks has made just a tremendous difference in how I think. Portugal, I bought 6 acres with a river. It was going to be an off-grid property. It was near a village, 3/4 of a mile. I could walk to the village, 15 minutes from all the stores. I had a very specific list there too, but it just didn't work out. So I had a caravan RV put on the property, and there was some basic solar and water that was supposed to be hooked up before. And if you go back to the few Portugal episodes that I did, you'll see it didn't work out that way, and things did not fall into place. It was very challenging. So I am going to sell that land, and I'm going to come up with a different plan there. I am getting my residency in Portugal. I know myself, as you know yourself, or will get to know yourself. I don't want to be in one place all the time. I get bored. I like to travel. I may even go to Montenegro for part of the year after I get my residency established. I don't know what I'm doing, but I want to give myself the option. Hence the small spaces. I don't want to have a lot to contend with. I never planned on having a farm in Portugal with animals and sheep and goats and chickens and growing vegetables. I wanted to be near people that were doing that so I could get local, fresh, organic, healthy food And if there was ever an emergency, I know that I would be safe there. So when I go back to Portugal, I believe I'm going to rent initially and be closer to Porto. I like the north. I like the cooler temperatures in the winter and the summer. I'm going to spend a year just exploring and trying to figure that part out because I don't know. My choice that I made, it was a good choice because I had land in Montana. I've been chasing down that land since the 80s. I sold it in 1992. I thought I wanted to go back and live off the land kind of thing. I've lived off grid a couple times as well. But in all honesty, I don't really want to do that anymore. And I don't want to build a new house on off-grid property. It was just building up and building up and building up to so much stress. I didn't even want to do it anymore. And I'm not giving up. I'm just shifting. And that's what life's about, is shifting. So life is mostly good. I like a challenge. I adjust my challenges and my goals to what I can handle. And I think I threw a lot more at myself than I should have. Buying a property in Italy, sight unseen. Buying land in Portugal, sight unseen. Moving from the US to Europe. Finishing an 1800s renovation in New York. Building a little house in another town in New York. I was doing all this at once. And trying to sell everything. And trying to organize and move. So now I feel so much calmer in Italy. I feel so much smarter. Like I know what my plan is. I know the direction I need to go. We're going to continue this conversation and the answering of the questions in the next episode. So keep them coming. And nothing's too personal, obviously, because I'm sharing my life with you, right? Nothing's too personal. Nothing's too complicated. I will try and answer as many questions as I can. If I cannot personally answer it, like all the real estate questions and how to move to Italy or how to move to Portugal, I will let the experts answer all of those questions for you. And if any of you are coming here to Italy or Portugal, I have wonderful people that I work with, lawyers, accountants, residency, relocation people. You got to find the right people. You can't go to, well, I shouldn't say you can't. I chose not to go ask all these questions on Facebook because you can get 50,000 answers and you're not really getting the answers to your specific situation. Everyone's situation is different. And I didn't have time to waste getting information from too many different avenues. So I just went to the experts. Life is not easy. Moving to Europe is not easy. But what makes it worthwhile is on the other end of it, on the other side, after all of the process is began and you've consolidated your lives and sold what you don't want and let go of a lot, it's worth the journey. It's because it's the journey. It's not the end result. It's the journey in our lives that we need to appreciate, but it's the choices we make every day. And if we make a mistake, we just have to go ahead and shift. We don't give up. We shift. We learn. We research. You're not going to see me doing all those things when I do my episodes. I'm doing that behind the scenes, pretty much all the time, in between eating and sleeping and exercising and making my lists and doing YouTube and communicating and balancing all these things. It takes a lot of effort. So hence why my videos were so jumpy and not so, great being filmed, because at the moment I really just was just lucky that I was producing anything. So I'm going to do better. So until we meet again, thanks again for being here. I look forward to your oncoming questions, and I'm astounded. I'm heading into my 100th video over the last year and a half with over 10,000 of you subscribed. So please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and continue with me on this journey. And so I will improve as we go along, as I said. And I'm amazed that there's so many of you here. I guess the Italian dream is not dead. And you know what? None of these towns are dead either. A lot of these towns, a lot of times when you're out in the daytime, there's not a whole lot going on until the evenings. I'm a morning person, so I'm not out there in the evenings. Uh, some of the towns are quiet, but you know what? Quiet can be a good thing. Learning Italian in quiet towns is better, and that's the next thing on my list. So again, it's been great. We'll see you on the next one, and thanks for being here. I really appreciate you.